So lately I'm just scrolling around YouTube looking at videos related to Tradelands, and I'm gonna find a single guide for the updated Tradelands piracy system. So why aren't people making any? Well, you see, if you didn't know, the update was released days ago, so I doubt anybody has even made a single video covering the piracy mechanic of this game. Now let me tell you, piracy has changed a whole lot from the last update. There's no more selling pads, cargo no longer stays on deck, there's a new mechanic called the cargo hold, and much more you should know. Now you may ask, why should I do piracy if I can do trade runs? Why go through the hassle of having to steal from somebody when you could just mind your own business and sell cargo? First of all, it's somewhat profitable. You see, if you didn't know, stolen cargo is worth way more than normal cargo. You can literally make up to 1,000 doubloons per crate. However, this mechanic only works for two factions in the game, which are Blackwing Pirates and Halingard. So you can't pirate Nova ships while you're in the White Chris faction. You should also know that you cannot steal from your own faction, which means you can't pirate a Blackwing pirate ship while you're in the Blackwing faction. Second of all, it's fun. No, seriously, the piracy mechanic in Tradelands makes the game way more interesting than other games, mainly because piracy relies on other people doing trade runs, which makes Tradelands more of a community-based game. Piracy also makes players stay. You see, if all you do is trade run, the game would instantly feel like a simulator, since nothing poses as a threat while doing trade runs. You also get the PvP, which is honestly why most people do piracy. They want to have a better experience and want the challenge when playing a game solely based on its players. Now to the reasons why you should not do piracy. First, and the most obvious one of all, you get hate. Now this is pretty obvious since piracy is literally selling cargo that's not yours. Nobody who trade runs actually wants pirates to steal from them. However, it is nowhere against the rules, since it's how the developers designed the game. People just get angry at you for it. So if you're a nice guy and care about strangers online that you have literally never met, piracy is not for you. Second of all, it's almost entirely luck-based. You see, when you're doing piracy, your first priority is to find a ship to pirate. You're mainly going to be looking out for herons, beavers, pheasants, gooses, atlases, or if you're lucky, possibly a mastiff. However, if you fail to find any ship at all, you won't be able to commit piracy, since you won't have anybody to steal from. I also don't recommend camping ports, since if no ships come, you're literally wasting your time and earning nothing. So make sure you join the right server. Last of all, it's stressful. You see, when you're onto a ship, and you're about to steal its cargo, you'll do anything in your power to get its cargo. If you just leave it, you've wasted your time, so there's no turning back. If anything happens at all that's gonna cause you to disconnect or go AFK, the situation will become very stressful, so be sure to raid when you are available to raid. Now that we got why and why not to pirate covered, let's talk about the piracy mechanic of Tradelands. First of all, in order for cargo to be stolen, it must be anything that isn't cargo bought by you. Meaning it can be cargo that a player from the opposite faction bought, or even cargo which is lying on water. Now to steal cargo from a ship, you take your ship, then board the person you're stealing from. You must head over to the cargo hold of the ship, then you'll see a steal button. Click it, and you'll be holding the cargo. Right after that, you must immediately head to your ship, then drop the cargo. You can do this by pressing F or clicking the drop cargo button. Now don't forget to get just enough cargo to fill your cargo hold. Right after that, jump off the ship, then sail away. Or you could sink the ship. However, I don't recommend sinking the ship, since you don't get any sink money if your opponent is under level 10. And you can never tell what level they are, so it's best to save your round shots for other necessary times. Selling the stolen cargo is the same as selling normal cargo. You head to a port, then you sell the cargo. That's pretty much it. There's no ports in the game that won't accept stolen cargo, so you're free to head anywhere on the map to sell your stolen cargo. Though, you won't get any money if you sell the cargo from where the cargo was bought from. You can tell where the cargo is bought from by looking at the name of the cargo written on it. You can check out the Tradelands wiki for types of cargo and where they're brought from, since you'll need to know what cargo is bought from where to maximize your profits. Now that you know why to pirate, and how to sell your stolen cargo, we'll go on to the tips and tricks for piracy. First of all, get a good ship for piracy, which is possibly one of the most important factors of Tradelands, since you cannot commit piracy by just swimming. Therefore, you need a ship that can get the job done. I will list each factor of a ship in order of relevance. First of all, we have sail type. You see, if you didn't know, a majority of Tradelands ships have different types of sails. Each type of sail does a specific job. Some can go crosswind really fast, and some can go crosswind really slow. Ships with engines are also really useful, since they allow you to go upwind really quickly. The reason why I put this in first is because you will have a huge advantage in speed if a trader doesn't know much about the wind mechanic of Tradelands. Ships that most people abuse the crosswind speed are the Marauder and the Dart. Second of all, we have speed. This is ranked second due to piracy almost being entirely based on chasing your victim down. Therefore, being able to catch up to your victim's ship is important. Third of all, we have cargo capacity. This is ranked third due to having a ship that holds a lot of cargo is essential towards raiding, since you'll never know how much cargo you're gonna get. Fourth of all, we have health. You see, with the recent update, it is literally impossible for traders to kill you if you're on your ship, since you'll just respawn back. So it requires them to sink your ship, then kill you, which is why you must rely on your ship to buy you enough time for yourself to respawn. Last of all, we have firepower. With the recent update, sinking ships are no longer worth it for pirates, since sunken ships no longer drop cargo, and there's no point in attempting to get sink money, since you don't get any sink money from players who have a level lower than level 10. Personally, I recommend the Dart, since it has decent health and very good crosswind speed, and 8 cargo capacity, or the Marauder, since it sacrifices its health for its incredibly good turn speed combined with its incredible crosswind speed. It also has 8 cargo capacity. Congratulations! You have a good ship, but you'll still need to board your enemy and fight them. But how are you going to do that exactly? Unless you bring nothing but your bare fist to the raid, you're going to need equipment, which is our second topic. I'll be breaking this down to 3 slots: weapons, ammunition, and other items. First of all, we have weapons. There's melee and range weapons. There are plenty of melee weapons in Tradelands, and in full honesty, I cannot specify what is the best weapon in Tradelands, due to each player having a different playstyle. Personally, I prefer the rapier, since it has decent stab speed, decent range, takes a reasonable amount of stamina for a 6-hit to kill weapon, and is cheap, costing only 20 metal, 5 wood, and 1 high quality mold to make. Or you could use glowies. For those of you who don't know what glowies are, it's pretty much a kind of weapon which you get from crates. Most glowies give the user an advantage in PvP, such as 4-hit to kill daggers. Most people shame glowy users, calling them glowy spammers, which is another way of saying somebody sucks for not having the guts to use a normal weapon. But honestly, it isn't a thing to be ashamed of, since you're already getting hate for stealing from somebody. And glowy spamming has been a thing in Tradelands for a while now, so most people have learned to get used to it. Then we have range weapons. Honestly, I personally think cap-lock weapons are the best range weapons, mainly because they fire extremely fast and are a really good thing to have while doing piracy, since you are threatening to bring your opponent's health down by half, but obviously, you'll need ammunition. Which is our second topic. One of the clearest examples being round shot. It is recommended to bring at least 30 to 50 round shots when raiding, but you may be asking, hey, round shots weigh a lot. How am I supposed to carry 30 to 50 round shots without being overweight? We'll get to that later. Then we have ammunition for range weapons. Like I said earlier, I personally think cap-lock weapons are the best kind of range weapons. Even though it's expensive, costing up to 350 doubloons per shot, I think it's worth it since cap-lock ammunition can help you a whole lot in raiding. We also have swivel ammunition, which is another kind of round shot exclusive for swivel guns. This acts as a shotgun that shoots multiple projectiles doing some decent damage. You won't exactly need this when you're raiding, but I carry swivels since it's really useful if someone tries to board your ship, since you can shoot swivels on deck and gain a huge advantage. Third of all, we have other items. The most notable one being healing items. Now, I think we can all agree that Hardtack may be the best healing item. You literally have no reason not to use it. It costs 5 doubloons per piece, you can carry it in your pocket, heals 1/4 of your health, and literally weighs 0.05. I recommend carrying at least 100 hardtack when raiding, since it only takes up 5 weight and you'll never know how much PvP scenarios you'll be in. Then we have the spyglass, which is a really important item in Piracy, since you'll be scouting a lot of ships, and it's practically common sense to have one. Now remember a while ago, when I said you'll need to be carrying a lot of round shots? Well, to prevent yourself from being overweight, you can carry featherstones. When equipped in your inventory, it will add 10 more weight capacity per featherstone, which means you can carry as much stuff as you want as long as you have enough featherstones in your inventory. You can buy featherstones from the loyalty merchant for 10 loyalty tokens per piece, but I'm telling you, it's by far the most useful item I can think of. Nice! you got a good ship and good equipment. But don't forget, you'll need to board the ship and steal cargo. And if your opponent fights back, you'll need to PvP, which is our third topic. Now this may sound scary for a lot of you who have never won a single fight or duel, but honestly, you learn over time. But if you absolutely suck at PvP, your best bet is to just spam left click. While it might sound dumb, if you land all your shots perfectly, or if your opponent doesn't block at all, you have a huge chance in winning. Another thing I like to do is spam hardtack. Now this is a really good tactic if you're low on health when in PvP. Pretty much, try to dodge your opponent's attack by running around or jumping, then eat a bunch of hardtack. This can get you back on high health quickly, and is sure to get you back in the fight. I also recommend using your ranged weapons in fights only when necessary, such as when your opponent is running away or when they are running straight towards you, since ranged weapons deal a lot of damage and may even kill your opponent. Lastly, what I think is the most important factor of PvP is do not jump in the water, or as I like to call it, having the high ground. This is fatal for 3 reasons. First of all, you can't eat hardtack on water. This makes you unable to do one of the most important things while in PvP, healing. The only way to attack on water is to form a tack stack. This is possible by jumping onto another player, then eating hardtack at that exact moment. The game will register this as standing on a surface, therefore making you eat hardtack. Second of all, you can't fire ranged weapons on water. This is really fatal due to your opponent having an advantage of healing and reloading while you have no way to fight back. Third of all, swimming is slower than walking. I think it's pretty clear to most of you that swimming is incredibly slow, and this is fatal due to your opponent being able to shoot you easily since you're a slow target. So please do stay on the ship. And those are the reasons why you should always have the high ground. Congratulations! You've practically now learned everything about how to raid, from the ships to the equipment to the PvP. However, there's one last thing I would like to talk about, and that's negotiating with traders. You see, a lot of traders are smart, and they'll try anything to stop you from getting their cargo. From fighting back to straight up lying, I've been lied to countless times from traders saying they will give me their cargo if I take it without killing them. But they end up attacking me when I'm holding cargo, since I can't fight back. This isn't to say every trader is a complete liar, of course. I just don't recommend negotiating with traders. People tell traders not to trust pirates. I tell you not to trust traders. So whenever you see a ship surrender, be sure to think of all the possible outcomes, especially on ships with more than 2 traders. Congratulations! You practically now know everything about raiding. From the ships, the equipment, PvP, and why not to negotiate with traders. I hope this guide was somewhat helpful to you and fun to watch. If you would like to see more content made by me, feel free to click subscribe and press the like button. See ya.